I'm running out of time. In the previous episode, I think I mentioned that I had about 1 to 2 weeks left. Turns out I have less than a week. And then I'm gone until the beginning of September. So this is our last chance to do any work. Now, it isn't all bad news because I also discovered that the LEGO convention is happening in October. So that does give us the entirety of September to try and finish out as much as Mumbo's base as possible, or at least to get it to a good looking point. But for now, I'll stop this yammering and let you guys enjoy the time lapse. Things have been going pretty well so far, and fun fact, I built up this entire section that you see here in 1 day, so I am getting a little bit speedier with my building, and hopefully we'll be able to finish out like this entire section of cliffs. But I put a pause on building because we have a Bricklink Order. I believe this package came from Britain, so that is a bit of a ways for some LEGO to arrive, but it's here now and we can open it up. Now, in this order, I'm hoping that it has the parts that I need to build up some more of the cliffs, but I don't think that it was... Actually, I don't really remember what's in this order, so I guess we'll just get into it. So, oh yeah, I ordered some of these jumper plates to help with doing the wall technique on the back section. I also got some medium nougat here just for working on pathways once we get to that on the top of the cliff face. More green parts and that sort of thing. I also realized that I am running out of plates, so it's always good to have a little bit extra as a backup. And there's more of those jumper plates in the light bluish gray, so we got light and dark bluish gray. Looks like a random assortment of parts here, just kind of details for plants and that sort of thing. And these, I don't know if you can quite see them, but these transparent blue round tiles, those are going to be going in front of the lights. So I'll put those in the back and then the lights will go behind them. So that will help round it off and cover it up and make it look pretty nice. We have a couple more bricks and plates here, so your usual stocking up on parts. More plates, because again, did realize I was running out of them. And I think that's basically it. Oh yeah, and a couple of green plates, because I do need a few more of those for finishing off the top of the order. Or sorry, not the top of the order. The order's done, there's nothing left in here, but for finishing off like the top of the rock face. So this is a decent amount of parts, but it isn't exactly what I wanted, because I have placed 2 or 3, I think, more Bricklink orders, and each of them are pretty big orders, and they're gonna have a bunch of parts for doing some stuff on the cliffs, including doing some of the sloping, and for building up trees. So I'm really excited to get the parts for working on some trees, because I have some very cool designs for that, so can't wait to show you that, although I don't think we're gonna make it to that in this week. So I'm just gonna go ahead and sort out some of these parts, and then once I'm done that, we're gonna go right back to building. Quick update, the majority of this inner side is now complete, and I am quite happy with how this entire section came out. But now we are moving on to this section over here where I have to curve it around the front, and that is going to be a pain like always because I have to switch from putting studs on this side to that side. It's just a hassle and always takes a really long time. Now, before I go ahead and do that, there is one thing that I would like to point out, and that is I'm a little bit concerned that our sloping going from just cliffs to the flat top may be a little bit too harsh. You can kind of see this idea in the back there where it just goes straight from those gray slopes facing sideways to like the green flat top, and I'm just worried that it's a little bit too drastic of a change between the two sides, and I'm probably thinking I should do it a little bit more like this where it kind of switches from going to gray to green. And now I am also going to rely a little bit on putting a bunch of plants and vines over it to kind of smooth out those edges, but I think maybe with the top sections I'm going to have to put in a little bit more green studs. So basically just switching out some of these gray ones for green slopes, just so then it kind of looks like the grass is coming over the edge and it doesn't just end. So I think that is something I'm going to do, but for now I'm going to go ahead and work on this section, and while I'm doing that, let's jump into Studio and take a look at some house designs. Here in Studio, I have done a little bit of testing since the last episode, and I have mapped out a few things. That first thing being the actual outline of the top of the cliff. So this is the one that we completed in the previous episode, and this is the entire space that we have on top of the cliff. So as you can see, there is not a whole lot of space on top of this thing, and I am a little bit worried that when we start building up the houses and start placing them on top, that we may not have enough room. So in the previous episode, there was that kind of poll thing where you guys wanted the 3 options, and the 3 options are right over there, and the majority of you guys voted for the second option here. Now, a few also decided that it'd be nice to have like the third option and maybe the second option mixed together, but it was the majority wanted the second option. Now, actually looking at the total space that we have as a cliff top here, I am a little bit worried that the second option, because it does use 2 studs of space in order to build the wall, might be a little bit too thick. And I'm especially worried that with the smaller houses, we might not be able to pull it off. And I think a final factor to consider is that with these walls, we are going to be kind of breaking holes in them for doors and stuff. So like there's just going to be a hole there for a door, obviously not quite as rough, but I'm just worried about the structural stability of using these sorts of parts. So I'm not sure if this is actually the best option. Now, normally I would be on board with you guys, and I do really like the design of this wall, but I'm thinking it might actually be a much better option to either use the third one or even the first one. And as you can see over here, I also did some testing with doing the corners and that sort of thing, and it does take a lot of space. We need at least a 4x4 corner, and there's still problems with the underside in that some of the parts are kind of halfway through the stud. So I don't know if you'll be able to see that, but on this back side here, you can kind of see that it's halfway in between the stud when really it should be all the way across. So, I mean, that's kind of an easy problem to fix. All you have to do is add other jumper plates below or just tiles, but it is something else to consider. Now, while I'm away, I am bringing my computer with me, so I am hoping to develop this cliff face and hopefully round it all out so then we have all the layout and maybe even design out most of the houses. So that's what I'm planning on doing. I have this, layout here of this one side, so I definitely think I'll have enough work of planning out the entire side of this cliff. And I think my main goal is going to be focusing on how the heck I'm going to design these houses. So just in case you really wanted to see option 2, it will probably happen, but don't be surprised if you see option 3 or even option 1, just because they are a lot more streamlined than option 2. I know, it's kind of weird that I am trying to convince you guys to not choose your choice here, and if I do that, then I guess there wasn't really any point to that poll, but I guess I did learn something in that we can't always rely on this design, mainly because it's just too thick and wouldn't be able to work with our design here with the houses. So yeah, I guess I'm just trying to convince myself that it's the best option. But I think enough dilly-dallying here. We can head back over to the Lego side of things and keep on building out those cliffs.
The cliffs do look really nice, but not that much progress was made because I went hiking.
And as you can see, it is quite pretty, but there is absolutely no Lego to be found anywhere. Quick update, we are now at the top of the mountain and can confirm there is no Lego up here. So I think our only option is to activate teleportation and head back to the Lego room.
And now that I'm back, I don't have a lot of time left before I leave for the rest of the summer. I have about half an hour before I have to leave, and then I'm not coming back until the beginning of September. So, as you can probably guess, we aren't going to get a whole lot done. Now, I am going to try, set up a quick time lapse and just do whatever I can, but this looks like it's gonna be the end of the road for the summer. Now, as mentioned before, I am going to work on studio and hopefully design out the houses and like the top of the cliff, so I am going to do that, but for actual building and getting some cliff building and progress done, it's not gonna happen until September. But what am I doing here talking? We've got to get some stuff done before I have to leave, so let's just go ahead and do it. So I guess that's it. It's the end of the video. I have to go now. Now, I know we did do quite a bit of progress in this video, so it was a decently good video, but it is sad because I was planning on trying to complete this entire, like the entire cliffs before September, but I guess that's just not how it's going to work out. So I hope you enjoyed the video, and I guess I'll see you all in September.